Hey guys, welcome back to Leopardopedia. In this video, I'm going to try my best to teach you the basics of leopard gecko keeping in under 5 minutes. So without further ado, let's get started. "4 a.m. Jake here, editing this video, and I'm just now realizing how bad my camera angle was during the recording of this video. I would appreciate if you're able to look by, and hopefully the video still helps you out. But regardless, let's get back to it. So we're starting off relatively simple with the enclosure size. You want to go for something at least a 20-gallon long size, which is about 30 inches by 12 by 12. But I would suggest doing like a 40-gallon tank, which is about 36 by 18 by 18 inches. Especially as your leopard gecko grows, they're going to want a bigger tank, just because it's going to be easier for them to move around and they're going to have more space and feel safer, especially if you give them the hides, which I'll mention later. Alright, so you got your enclosure now. Now you just need a substrate for that enclosure. So the substrate is just what you use as the ground for your enclosure where your gecko walks. You're going to want something loose, especially when they're older, so they can dig and just be able to make their enclosure their own. And I would 100% avoid at all costs calci sand. It is no good for your gecko, and all it does is cause harm. It's just not worth it. Trust me on that. And I would also avoid using reptile carpet. It's just not good. Their claws get stuck in it. It's not hygienic. It's not worth it. Definitely use paper towel over that, but you got to change paper towels out pretty often. The best thing you can use is a loose soil like the Biojute's Terra Sahara. That's what I use, or Arcadia's Earth Mix Arid, or you can make your own with a 70-30 ratio of topsoil to play sand. But if you're not really trusting of your topsoil or play sand around you like I wasn't, just go with one of those pre-made mixes or paper towels. But keep in mind, you're gonna have to change them way more often. But you should always be spot cleaning your tank. Now that you got your substrate, I'm gonna talk about heating. Heating is pretty straightforward, so you can use a whole bunch of different heating elements. I would not suggest using the heat pads that go underneath the tank. They're just not the best. Some heat sources are better than others, which I want to touch on in a later video. I actually plan to make one. But for now, just basics, you can use like a ceramic heat emitter or a deep heat projector, which I suggest using, but you always need a thermostat. I suggest a dimming thermostat, especially with the deep heat projector, to prolong its life the most and get the most efficiency out of your heater. But by all means, please do not use colored heat bulbs. They are horrible for your gecko. They can ruin your gecko's vision. They can make it go blind. A whole bunch of other stuff. It's just not worth it. And when it comes to, like I said, lighting, UVB, you want to use UVB. I mean, you don't have to, but I highly suggest it. It's better for your gecko's health. And I want to make a video on that eventually as well, but for now we're just going to say that. And you want the UVB bulb that you have to be about 2/3 the size of your tank. So if you have a 36-inch tank, you want a 24-inch bulb. And the strength of the bulb depends on how far away it is from the bottom of your tank. So it depends on the height of your tank. When it comes to your heating, you are going to want a temperature gradient in your tank. So you want a hot side being 80 to 85 degrees going to a cooler side, which is going to be about 70 to 75. But on that hot side, you want a even hotter spot right below your heating element, and that's going to be about 95 degrees. I use a piece of slate, but that's what works for me. You're going to want it so your gecko can bask. Feeding's pretty simple. I already made a video about this. I'll try my best to put it up in the corner in the little information bar. But I use mealworms. I gut load them with carrots, and I dust them with calcium and a multivitamin before I feed. Alright, you're going to want somewhere for your gecko to hide as well. So you're going to want about 3 hides. You're going to want a humid one in the warmer area, but not the hottest part of your tank. That can be filled with paper towels or sphagnum moss to hold some extra humidity. While they shed, it can be taken out whenever they're not in shed if you want. And you're going to want a hot hide near your basking area, just so that they can enjoy heat but also feel safe and hidden. And on your cool side, you're going to want a hide there so they can hide in the coolness as well and still feel safe. I would also include like stuff for them to climb and crawl around in, just so that they can have some extra stimulation so they don't get bored and depressed. I know, yes, that your gecko can be depressed and sad, and it can feel stressed if you don't give them enough places to hide as well. So just make sure they have enough places to hide and they have stuff to do. Alright, and that's pretty much it for the basics of care. I mean, it's not too difficult as long as you try your best and do other research as well as this. This was just meant to do it as fast as possible in the most basic way possible. Definitely forgot some things because I haven't made a video in a while and I haven't talked about care in a while. But I do plan on remaking my old care guide, which I'm going to put up here as well. And if you want to look at that as well, it's only about twice as long as this, but it just goes more in depth about what I already talked about. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.